this is one of those things that one of the few times something like this pops up that I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
Usually this kind of world or these weird stories I hear because I watch a lot of weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
This, I knew nothing about this, so it was awesome diving into this. What is it?
This is the Pez Outlaw. It's available now on the Netflix.
And it is exactly what you think it's about. Pez.
And it's a documentary based on the real life story of the Pez Outlaw.
And how can there be a Pez Outlaw? Tell us the story.
So this man was working at comic conventions, selling just
He's
stuff.
like a toy collector.
Toy collecting. He's a cereal box guy.
Yeah.
Okay. He was the guy that would cut out all the cereal boxes and send them in to win every single prize. And it's funny, this is true. The reason why it says now one per household is this guy, like for real life.
Because he would go to junkyards and get all the boxes in the trash.
He would go through
everything else. And so he would send off and get all these exclusive items and then sell them at the convention so people couldn't get them.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it illegally. He just was getting the trash. And so, the reason we can only one thing per address is this guy's fault.
And then, that kind of dried up on him because it was the one per household. So he's like, well, what else is there? And he saw somebody selling Pez dispensers. He's like, what are these things? That's kind of cool. So we got into Pez collecting. And then through circumstance found out, Pez are made in Austria, the headquarters, but only certain designs would make it to the U.S. because the Pez president, known as the Pezident here in the United States, didn't like some of the designs.
And then there's apparently different manufacturers in Russia and I forgot somewhere else.
Somewhere Croatia, or who knows? There's all these European manufacturer companies, the distributors, and they have all these other ones over there, but only a limited number get to the U.S. and it's none of those designs.
The rest of the ones, if you live in Russia, they're coming. Yeah. But they're not coming here.
So he's like, I'm just going to go over to Europe and I'm going to go buy some Pez so I can bring them here and sell them at this convention.
So the story essentially is a story of a man who was smuggling Pez that were not sanctioned to be in the U.S. here and building an empire.
Yeah, and his name is Steve Glew. And I love it because it's told through, like Steve Glew's there. He's an old man now with a white beard and everything. And you see the picture, they got some guy to dress up like him and do like reenactments. And it's so cute and funny the way the story is told.
And what made this thing more intriguing, the story itself is interesting.
Yeah.
But it's made more interesting because it's just unassuming hillbilly who lives on this dirty farm. He looks like somebody you would see that's probably just collecting his eggs and milking cows and doing field work. He had big long beard, Duck Dennessy type people with overalls, but didn't seem to have a lot of education. He has some mental issues.
He had some PTSD from
Vietnam or something. So he's not the kind of person you would have ever thought that would have even gone through with this kind of thing.
And it's so funny because on the first few trips, his son went with him. His son was, teenager, and he went with him. And the son was driving him around, and he's like, it worked for his dad to act dumb, like the dumb American that doesn't know anything.
He didn't have to act. He was just being him.
Like, I just want to buy some Pez. And these people would let him into the factory. They'd show him all these designs, and he'd come back with like duffel bags full of Pez.
And you think you have to remember the time period.
This was in the 90s.
Well, no, it was earlier than that, I think.
No, he started in the 90s, like in 94.
Well, apparently, like one of the stories they tell, it's not really a spoiler, but talking about getting them back into the country. He had bags and bags, and I'm talking big duffel bags.
Duffel bags of thousands.
And he gets stopped at customs during, so you would assume they're not going to let this stuff in the U.S.
See, now I didn't know that.
I didn't know that these people that have these patents and stuff like this, they have to file with customs when something has a legal sanction to sell into the country. So if you're saying Pez, the Russian people have a right to sell Pez to the U.S., then they can legally send it through.
Whoever is the legal distributor.
So when they look at it, they look in the book, and it says Russia can do it, they'll let it in. It says Russia cannot. They don't let it in. Pez never filed it.
Pez never filed any paperwork to say they were the official distributor in the U.S.
Well, that's the European Pez.
No, Pez U.S. never filed to say the only people who can sell Pez in the U.S. is Pez.
So they couldn't do anything about it other than
so this guy's like, okay, go through. So he was doing this for years, just going and buying thousands and thousands of Pez that had never been distributed here, Pez that were just prototypes that had never even been released anywhere. And he was coming to conventions selling for like $4,000. People, there was that one lady that said she spent $11,000 on one Pez dispenser. I'm like, what
it's both baffling and not surprising to us at all. We are collector people,
but not
between my Star Wars stuff and your Buffy stuff, and obviously
I would not pay $11,000.
No, but it's not surprising.
Well, maybe
it's not surprising though. You look at like Star Wars figures. You see some of them that sell for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for one figure. Comics are the same way.
Oh my gosh!
So it's not surprising. It's just when it's something like that as a kid. That we all have Pez dispensers. Like I have a Pez dispenser I got for Christmas in my stocking.
Yeah,
and I don't look at that and ever think that could be $11,000. I look at that. Look at this stupid thing. Do I want to keep it or throw it in the trash can? Yeah, no,
but I know people have collected Pez for a long time. So anyway, so then the story continues. The Pezident of U.S. Pez is after him. Supposedly sent spies after him. His son's like, my dad was just crazy. He doesn't know. And then you find out they had spies. I mean,
he's like, you're crazy until you're not.
Yeah, and it's just the craziest story, kind of the rise and the fall of the Pez Outlaw, and it is such an intriguing movie.
It's funny and it's intriguing. It's kind of inspiring about how simple, if you knew something specific at the right time, how you could have. I mean, so at one point he was making millions of dollars, and now he's back to nothing. But he's now has I'm not going to say what it is, but now he has almost a secondary career because of the whole thing. Despite, like, if you look at a lot of what he did, especially the later stuff that was like at the tail end on how they actually stopped him, it was technically illegal, but it was a gray area illegal. It wasn't malicious intent illegal. It was trying to build his own business, and the proper things were probably not in place the same as they are now. The gray area was a little lighter than it may be now.
Well, I'm wondering now, I mean, to me, the equivalent of this now are the people are doing like art. But
that's a big problem right
now. The whole art thing and the computer generated art, like technically we're not messing with anyone's copyright or license. It's our creation of your art.
It's funny you say that. I just read an article.
This whole thing is blowing up.
I just read an article yesterday that some news outlet, like a BuzzFeed kind of, I'm not saying them, but some kind of thing like that, they're apparently going to start being used in AI writing. And it could be basically putting writers out of business now.
That's
so
creepy.
They said they were going to be a predominantly AI content created writing articles now, where all you got to do is you punch in the subject matters and then it generates a whole article for you. And it's taken the personality and the personable nature. But this is just literally, people like surprise. This is just the next level of the social media taking over the world and the electronic world of people not interacting with each other. It was streamings and it was, Kindles instead of books, and it's just that next year of we've been getting rid of the physical stuff that people are making. Now we're getting rid of the people that are making the things.
Yeah, we're going all digital with everything. It's kind of creepy. Anyways, I would check out this movie. It's so fun.
It is. It's a great documentary. So if you want something different, that's kind of out there, silly, it's stupid, it's ridiculous, then the Pez Outlaw is a great one. It's on Netflix now.